Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we're talking about the Gibson Theodore Standard. So Gibson launches the Theodore Standard amid ongoing trademark dispute. So I was not aware of this trademark dispute. The original Theodores came out at $5,000 from the custom shop. These ones are going to set you back $2,000. So definitely significantly cheaper than the custom shop version, and also cheaper than a Gibson Les Paul as well. I think right around the same price as a Gibson SG. I mean, it's kind of that similar SG shape, a little bit, obviously there's differences, but similar construction, if you will. So let's go ahead and look at the whole dispute of trademarks, and then we will go through the specs, and if maybe you should buy this thing. So the guitar, inspired by unearthed drawings from the 50s, was initially released as a limited edition custom shop model in 2022. Gibson has unveiled its new Theodore Standard electric guitar. Previously announced as a limited edition custom shop model in 2022, the instrument is now available in Gibson stores worldwide at regular production models, so Gibson USA. In the words of the guitar giant, it's not every day that Gibson releases a new body shape. Theodore Standard, for one, said to be inspired by an original drawing from 1957. A sticky issue in itself, we'll get into later, the same era when the legendary ES-335, Flying V, and Explorers were designed to modernize the brand's product line. Spec-wise, the guitar is pretty much everything you'd expect to see in a standard version. Features include asymmetrical mahogany body, scimitar headstock. It's kind of like an Explorer headstock, a little bit different, I think. You got the Grover Mini Romatic tuners, so nothing locking, unfortunately. Florentine cutaways that provide easy access all the way up to the 22 frets, rosewood, fretboard, slim taper mahogany neck. We got a 57 Classic and a 57 Classic Plus, excellent combination. Produce effortless sustain, rich diversity, while the instrument's lightweight and balanced construction makes it a joy to play. Players also get a pretty streamlined control layout with just a master volume and toe knobs as opposed to Gibson's usual 4-circuit knobs. Yeah, 2 or 4, either or is fine. Two pneumatic ABR1 bridge, acrylic trapezoid inlays, so no mother of pearl, stop bar tailpiece, kind of all standard stuff. It's basically a Gibson SG. Let's put it in terms of wood and construction. It's a different, funky looking SG with a weird headstock, with a hockey stick headstock, if you will. And if the theater's name sounds just a bit familiar, that is probably because it should be. It might be because the term has been the center of a trademark dispute between Gibson and PRS and Ted McCarty's estate, with the later two seeking to cancel Gibson's trademark for the name. Their petition claims that the mark misleads guitarists into assuming McCarty's estate officially sanctioned the guitar, arguing that consumers of the guitar would recognize the name Theodore as identifying the Theodore McCarty, when Gibson does not have the right to use this name. So they're not using Theodore McCarty, they're just using Theodore. So I'm so for once, surprisingly, I'm semi-siding with Gibson on this one. It also claims a potential confusion with PRS's existing trademark for McCarty, used for the brand's 1994 guitar model. For the uninitiated, Theodore, Ted McCarty was a guitar designer for Gibson between 1948 and 1966. He helmed the company from 1950 to 1966, a period often referred to as the brand's golden era, and is the man whose sketches Gibson's have been based on Theodore's and new Theodore Standard on. So there's like the original sketch there. It looks like it had a mini humbuckers. I know that when they released this thing, it had, I want to say it was P90s in it, but now you got full-size humbuckers in there if you're not a fan of the P90s. Would have been cool if they did a P90 in the neck and the 57 Plus on the bridge, but one can dream. The only thing I see with that usually is the BFG. That said, Gibson's latest promotion for their new standard model has omitted any and all mention of McCarty himself in the original origin of the design, likely in a bid to avoid further legal punishment amid the ongoing trademark battle. So development from the original drawings discovered in Gibson archives, the Gibson Theodore Standard is based on the design from 1957, priced at $1,999. It arrives in antique natural, vintage cherry, and ebony. Hard shell case is also included. It better be for $2,000. But it's the same colors as the custom shop. As I said, the main difference is not made in the custom shop. I don't think you have the lines running through it. Yeah, I think it had some like a walnut stripe or something running through the custom shop, where this is just solid piece of wood. The natural looks pretty nice. I could also see them making a custom Carino one. That black one looks really nice. I wish they made this in more of a solid color. So this is kind of like your SG red. I feel like a wine red would look really good, or maybe a rose red, because I feel like the guitar shape to me reminds me of like the tulip part, if I'm saying that right, of the rose, the pink part of the rose. That's what it reminds me of. And then sure, you got the stem going out the wrong end, but that's perfectly fine. I mean, all of these look pretty nice. I could definitely see them making a black custom version of this. The natural one, the custom, I like the natural one. Maybe they're using a little bit of a darker finish here. I think personally my favorite is probably the black, the ebony. So let's go ahead. We don't need to read all this again. So you got a profile as a slim taper, so that's probably going to be closer to a 60s. You got a Graphtec nut, which is always great. Acrylic trapezoid inlays, they do that on pretty much everything that's not a custom. Typical 24 3/4 inch scale length, 22 frets, set neck, real rosewood, thank God. For this price, it better be real rosewood. I don't know why Epiphone can't use real rosewood on the Gibson Custom Shop collaborations. I still don't understand why they're using Laurel. I guess it saves them money, is probably what it comes down to. Medium jumbo frets, which is always nice. Double cut, got the gloss nitrocellulose lacquer. I got the Theodore body shape, mahogany body. I got the hardware is going to be nickel. I don't know if I've ever used the Mini Grovers before, because they are smaller, but I don't, maybe if you got smaller hands or you want a lighter guitar, this is definitely something you may like. Got the black top hat knobs, ABR1, multiply pickguard, aluminum stop bar tailpiece. Truss rod is just probably the standard truss rod. 57 Classic, 57 Classic Plus, three-way toggle, master volume, master tone. We got some hand wired with orange drop capacitors in there too, so probably not a PCB board, and then they're running 10 to 46s as usual. So what is the price of this? Let's compare this to an SG out of curiosity, like an SG standard. I am definitely curious what an SG standard is going for. Actually, pretty much the same price. So if you're looking for something a little bit different than the SG, this is going to be probably similar weight. It's definitely a different body design, so something new, different headstock design. You may even like this better because if you look at the headstock compared to the typical 3x3, this is definitely more of a straight pull through the nut. So I don't really see this thing, even ones where the nut isn't cut really that great, I don't see this ever being a problem with tuning stability. If you want to throw some locking tuners on there, maybe put a roller bridge or something on it, yeah, sure. I can definitely see a lot of people modding this out. The pickups seem to be very easily changed out if you don't like them. Typical control cavity in the back as well. But I like the looks of this thing, and I hope there is an Epiphone model, or I hope I can find one used locally for a little cheaper than this, because dropping $2,000 on a plain Jane guitar, a little rough. I mean, price point wise, I would like this to be more around the $1,500. I think the SG should get moved back to that too. But with the price of everything, inflation, all that other junk, we're not seeing them come back down anytime soon. So maybe on the used market in a couple of years, you'll be able to find one of these for that $1,500 price point. But as of right now, if you want something a little different than an SG, you got the money for it, I'd say go for it. I don't think there's anything going to be wrong with this thing. It's probably going to play and sound fantastic. Buckethead uses the same pickups if you're looking for something that sounds similar, although he does have an extended scale length. He's got the baritone 27-inch scale length, so that might be something to factor into. But I've never heard complaints about 57 Classics. I don't think ever. I don't think I've ever had someone. I've heard some people say, yeah, they're pretty good, but I like this pickup better. But I've never heard someone outright say, I hate this thing. I've heard people say that about the Burstbucker 1, especially. Everybody seems to hate that pickup for whatever reason. But I have not heard that about this pickup set. But cool guitar overall, a couple of cool finishes. If I see one locally, I'd probably pick it up and play it, just to see what it's about, what it's like. My guess is it's probably going to be a similar feel to an SG. I'm hoping these aren't super neck divey, because I feel like this is a thinner body. I can't tell if it's slightly thicker than an SG or not, but I have a feeling that these may have some neck dive as well with that big honkin' Explorer style. I know it's not the exact same thing as an Explorer style headstock. We can actually take a look at that real quick. Yeah, it's like a tiny bit. It might be the same thing. For this one, they might be using the same headstock, because that would make sense, because they have the Explorer necks lying around anyway. But they say it's. I think they say it's supposed to be slightly different. To me, it looks pretty identical. Maybe I'm wrong, but as I said, if you got the money, I don't think you're going to be hurting. I don't think you're going to be losing too much money when you go to sell one of these things too on the used market in the future. And if you want one cheaper, you're just going to have to be like me and be patient and wait a few years, and hopefully you find one used on the secondhand market locally that is a bit cheaper than the $2,000 asking price. Or maybe they'll make a studio model of this. You know, like you know how they got like the SG Special. I could definitely see them doing this. I could see them going, you know, depending on how popular the Standard sells, I could see them doing a custom. I could see them doing a stripped down special, you know, where you got like the dot inlays, very thin satin finish, probably uncovered humbuckers, very basic. I could see them doing that too. So, I mean, it ultimately comes down to how many people are buying them and how many want them. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I know I said I was going to do a review of the speaker cabinet with the vintage 30s, but there didn't seem to be a lot of love on that video, so I figured we'll do something else for today, and we can always do that video in the future if you want to see it. So thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Almost at 1,000 subscribers, so I can get 4 more people to subscribe. That would be awesome. Then we can sign up for good old monetization and start getting paid a couple of pennies per video as well. So thank you. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. And as always, have a good one.